Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories in the art. About a week or so ago, I showed you a stack of old science fiction comics, and among them was this one that was a comedy. Humorous comic. And that was this one, Roswell, the Little Green Man. This is from number 5 from Bongo Comics from 1998. So I guess that classifies as old because it's over 25 years old. And this is written and drawn by Bill Morrison with some great coloring work done by Nathan Kane, and the artwork is fantastic too. And it's so well written and drawn, and I just love the nostalgic style of the art and that retro style of art, which is very nostalgic in appearance. And Roswell, this is from Bongo Comics, who also was publishing the Simpsons comics, and Bill Morrison is intimately involved in that. As Roswell was created by Bill Morrison as a series published by Bongo Comics, and it was nominated for 4 Eisner Awards. It was introduced in '96 as a 4-part backup story in The Simpsons, number 19 through 22, followed by a 6-issue solo run. So there's just one more issue after this one. And I remember having at least one other one way back when. I don't think I have it any longer. But after I loved this, and I would love to get the reprint. It's so good. The backup story and the first 3 issues were printed in a trade paperback, Roswell Walks Among Us, in '97. And I remember, because I got Simpsons back then sporadically, and I do remember reading part of that 4-part series, because that was the origin of Roswell, and I remember little bits of that. Like Jasper was dressed as a cowboy and riding a mutated ant, and later a mutated giant rabbit. That's some weird stuff. Okay, and Bill Morrison was born in 1959, so he's about my age. He's an American cartoonist and writer, co-founder of Bongo Comics with Matt Groening. He attended college for creative studies. In his early career in the 1980s, he worked as a technical illustrator for ArtTech Inc. before working for Disney, producing promotional art for a host of their classic animated features. Then he worked, and you can see that Disney, a little bit of that Disney style and quality in these illustrations. Then he worked as a writer on The Simpsons, and later was a director for Futurama. So that's on TV. And he was a creative director at Bongo Comics from '93 to 2012. So he's not just some fly-by-night cartoonist. He's got some real chops here, and you can see his chops in the art and in the writing of the story. And there are a lot of there are little Easter eggs for the audience. Now this takes place in the '40s, which is why it's got that '40s look and to the art, that very retro look to the artwork. Because Roswell, of course, he's a little green man, an alien, and he crashed He was at the crash at Roswell. That's where he got his name. And he made friends with this couple of humans who are not a couple, but they're a pair of Julianne Fries and Jasper. I don't remember his last name if they gave it. He must have a last name somewhere. And I love this cover illustration. This is very reminiscent, to my eye anyway, of a Frank Frazetta painting that was cover for an early Creepy magazine, and the painting is known as I think the Sea Monster, and it was very similar. It had a diver opening a treasure chest, and right behind him was this big horrid sea monster. So, and I suspect, intentionally or not, that was partial inspiration for this particular cover design. So let's take a look inside Roswell. What is the startling secret beneath the sea? And even the signatures, whoops, let's take a look. Even the signatures you can see here, Bill Morrison and Nathan Kane, has style and is very retro looking. There we go. So, of course, Simpsons ads. And it starts out with, obviously, without mentioning their names, Scully and Mulder and Scully, of the X-Files. And this is Bill Morrison himself. And it's talking about the story. He had already been visited by Men in Black and beat the crap out of him. He says, "I already told your buddies," and he says, "They're not our buddies." And he resisted. "No, I told them. I mean, after all, I'm a storyteller. That's what I do." And then they beat him up. And then here he is starting the story. And this is him telling the story. Who's soggy now? Like, it's a play on Who's Sorry Now? And our trio are working on at a movie studio. And they've wrapped for the day, they're taking off, and the various jobs. Roswell himself is an extra, but he's in disguise. You can see him taking off his disguise, his mask, and then otherwise his disguise is just usually a hat and dark glasses. And Jasper's over here talking to this smoky fella, and I've forgotten his name, Foggy McButt, yeah. And then they all they're staying together, and we hear a little bit of an argument with some other people. They live in a trailer just outside of town, and here we get back, and there is Dag Nabbit, the giant rabbit, giant mutated rabbit that Jasper rides. But he just loves Roswell and licks him. They get inside, and remember, this is the 40s, and Jasper sits down with his feet up, and in this case, it's a Life magazine, and it says, "What's for supper, honey?" And justifiably so, she takes that skillet and clangs him one. Says, "Don't call me honey. Now get your smelly feet off my coffee table and march your lazy, bow-legged behind into the kitchen." I like that. It was because, I do most of the cooking around here, but for example, and he's not happy because we have no money. They owe the studio a bunch of money because of something that happened in a previous issue. So they get very little money, and they're going to wind up having to have spaghetti for supper again. And he goes, "No." And then he said, "Oh yeah." And then he remembers what that Wheezy McButt was talking about. I got an expenses paid little job lined up for him, and here they are. They take the take the ferry out to Catalina Island, and they are met by Marina Del Rey, who is a starlet in her own right. And here you see, the really good example, if it'll focus again, really good example of both the quality of the artwork, and nice visual storytelling, and just the overall just nostalgic style. The technique, the style, and I love the style of clothing. There's Jasper in there, and there's Roswell right there. And she represents their employer. It takes them in their beautifully drawn old-fashioned car from the 40s, and she is really coming on to Jasper here. To her Julianne's discomfort, not because she's got a thing for him, but just she doesn't like this schmarmy lady. Take up to this big house on the cliff, meet the butler. They've already met the chauffeur, and their boss, who lives here, but they never actually meet, is Mr. Gooseberry. And here it shows a portrait of Mr. Gooseberry. Is he like away or someplace? And come on, focus again. And you see, and it was a portrait by Salvador E. Newman, and you can see the little Mad Magazine Easter egg. And they get little interruptions in the story with Mulder and Scully talking to him. Says, "Don't worry, Mr. Morrison, please don't try to be funny. Just stick to the pertinent facts." So they're having eating dinner at the table, and turns out this millionaire who's hiring them is he's made his fortunes off of cigarettes, and here it's called Old Scratch cigarettes. And so they lets them know the next day what their little job that they're getting paid for, because all they have to do is do this one little job, and they've got the rest of the weekend to just hang out on the beach or what have you. So it takes them out to the location. Turns out that they have to dive. There's something down there, a little like a treasure chest, and they have to dive and retrieve it. But something is always now it reveals that we've had another diver to go down and do it, and he never came back. So they all get their gear on and dive away. And we see all the fishy stuff. There's the Amazing Mr. Limpet from starring animated / live action movie starring from the Andrew Griffith Show, Barney. I suddenly can't think of his name. And here's a skeleton in a concrete feet in a concrete block and all kinds of little critters. And this one octopus latches onto Roswell's head, but the others don't notice. They go down, they find the chest. What is it? And here's the octopus on his head, and they still don't notice because it looks like his own head. And he finally gets away. Julianne pulls out her little Zap ray gun that I think she had gotten from Roswell's spaceship or something. And they get the thing open because they want to see what it is before they bring it up. And they say, it's, Newtonium. Why in the world does Gooseberry need a trunk full of nuclear explosive? Of course, nuclear explosions don't work that way, but this is right in line with some of the 40s and 50s bad science fiction. And which is funny. And then you see this big old sea monster comes up and goes, uh-oh. And Roswell recognizes it. It's a rambar. What's a vile creature like that doing on Earth? How did it even get here? And, I think it's hungry. And it gobbles Roswell up in one gulp. Boop, and grabs the other pair and swims away. And it turns out we see this undersea base. It's some beautifully drawn undersea base and some it looks like something from an Irwin Allen movie, a set from an Irwin Allen movie. Little submersibles, and takes them in. They're captured, put in these cylinders. Goes, Kilroy, but you can call me Master. He is a gray alien, otherwise just like Roswell, because they are the same species from the same planet. But Roswell is a green version. They are the evil gray version. And here we say, now we get the monologuing, where he is describing they are an advanced team. The whole thing is to invade Earth and convert it into basically a Las Vegas in space. And they said that they even take credit for Las Vegas. They used criminals, organized crime, to as a trial run to start Las Vegas to see how it would work, how it would go. And now they are ready to go and turn the entire planet into that. And here the sea monster thing is starts hacking and coughing. Oh, what's wrong? And it barfs up Roswell. His feet smash the tube that Julianne is in, so she is freed. And you can see this in the tube next to it is this other horrid-looking alien monster who is also a prisoner of some kind, alien of some kind, and it looks like something from a creature drawn by Big Daddy Roth in the 60s. And so she's free. She grabs one of the alien guns and stomps all the bad aliens into a cell where they're behind a force field and they can't get out. So now they've got to get out of there. In the process, I forgot to mention that there was another person in one of the other tubes who was the first diver that they sent down and had been captured. So now all four of them have got to get away. So there are a bunch of little ships down here. We can get away with those. But does anyone know how to drive these, fly these things? They've taken that treasure chest of nuclear explosives and set up a timer on it. Now they got to get that out. I know, beautiful. Look at that beautiful, beautiful drawing of Julianne. Oh, it's wonderful. And so the only one who knows how to fly one of those ships is the other creepy alien with the Big Daddy Roth alien. And even Roswell originally wouldn't let him free because their species are enemies. But he's the one who knows, so they let him out. They all get into the little submarine, zoom away, and kablooey, the whole base blows up. And they rush to the surface. When they get to the surface, the alien pilot pushes the ejection seat, and boom, everybody else is popped out of the ship, and he takes off. I said, "Oh, that lousy, no-good hoss thief. Now what?" And he double-crossed him. But they all got away. And then, well, what happened to the little green guy? And then here he comes up riding on the back of a shark and says, "Hey, gang, I found us a ride back to the island. Hop on." Oh, what happened after that, we don't know. Did they ever get paid? And then here in the back is it's just a beautiful, beautiful drawing. And the idea, it's a little contest, is for the readers to put captions in the dialogue balloons. But it is just, the whole thing is so beautiful. It has a letters page, and then in the double page spread in the center is this beautiful 1947 calendar, with the retro art by Bill Morrison, Atomic Battery Company, Roswell, New Mexico. Oh, and as far as I can tell, it was an accurate calendar. It's beautiful, and it's such a fun, and I really, really now I want to get the rest of Roswell, the Little Green Man. It's just a wonderful little funny book. It has even more Easter eggs than I pointed out, I think. And it's just fun. And it's even good enough for kids. I mean, tame enough for kids, and fun for adults. So that's what I've got for you this time with Roswell number 5, The Little Green Man. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and do leave your comments down below. Have you read any of the old Roswells? Did you like it? What do you think of it? Do you think it was stupid? What have you? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.